Welcome back, everyone. Let's now focus on the crucial national conversation, the future of northern youth and what it means for Nigeria's overall competitiveness, a demographic with a massive potential but equally significant challenges. Can Nigeria be globally competitive while a major region remains unstable? And northern state governments doing enough to prepare youth for a competitive, technologically driven global economy? Joining me to unpack this is Alhijo Aldubakuwai, President of the National Union of Kebbi State Students. Tonight we'll share insights on the challenges, opportunities, and the role young people must play in shaping Nigeria's future. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Bakuwai. Good to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Right.
It's an honor.
The region, Northern Nigeria, has one of the world's youngest population. Yet some say it has the lowest human capital outcomes. Why has the region failed to convert its youth population into productive economic assets? Is this a failure of leadership, education, cultural systems, or economic planning?
Thank you very much for the wonderful question. The North is one of the best region in the country because the Northern youth particularly are one of the most brilliant and resilient of the youth. Because if you look at you find the Northern youth who is not, involved in entrepreneurship or, have something doing. And as you asked, is it leadership failure? It's not a leadership failure. Our leaders are up and doing. Why I said that is that educationally speaking, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has so much made investment in education because there is this platform he created, which is the NEL Fund, which is to ease the educational, activities of students. And students have been benefited, have been doing so well on that. In fact, from Kebbi State alone, almost more or less 20,000 students applied. I think the figures are 19,825 on Kebbi State alone. Students have been or are benefiting very much from this NEL Fund, and it has eased burden on the parents themselves. So on this note, I want to thank the President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for this intervention. Before, we used to see these kinds of intervention in more developed countries like United States, where the government felt it should support the student by giving scholarships and what have you. Now we are seeing it in the country. So honestly, this is so much. And Mr. President, on behalf of all students from Kebbi State, we say a very good, thank you for you. Kudos to you, and may God continue to bless what you have done, because our students are actually doing very well.
Mr. Bakuwa, you're talking about NEL Fund. President Tinubu just assumed office 2 years ago, but there is a gap, and that question was for you to address or tell me who should be responsible, who should be held responsible for that gap. Again, when consider the sad reality where we put together the percentage of the region's human capital currently locked out of education and work due to insecurity. And the question I've asked earlier on this program was whether Nigeria can be globally competitive while a major region remains unstable. How much does insecurity from banditry to insurgency limit the future of northern youth?
Well, there is this gap. I believe it's a gap that should be filled by each and every northern youth, because the insecurity and what have you made mention of, it's not only a sole responsibility of the government. You and I have a role to play on insecurity, because even reporting a suspicious somebody who you think is doing something suspicious is a responsibility of you. So I don't think it's insecurity. Yes, it's a cardinal or one of the most important responsibility of the government, because what those, how can there be education, all this welfare and what have you that the government does when there is no security? Of course, security is the most important, activity that the government have to do, but then each and every one of us has a role to play on insecurity or security per se.
All right, we should have this
And
conversation some other
speaking,
time. But
the narratives are changing actually because I am particularly shocked. I'm speaking of experience. I'm speaking of the youths I've seen, particularly in my state, TVC State, and by extension, the northwestern state. Things are changing. The youths are becoming more educationally focused. If you've seen the way our youths are actually pursuing higher, degrees and are becoming more relevant than before. Honestly, the narratives have changed. The North is not that, educationally crippled or
right,
whatever.
and I must agree with you that indeed the narratives are changing. But this is a conversation we must have some other time. But quickly before I let you go, in less than 30 seconds, many believe that the lack of opportunity, not lack of ambition, is the real barrier. Do you agree?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Many believe that lack of opportunity, not lack of ambition, is the real barrier. Do you agree?
Well, I won't say I have agreed. There are opportunities everywhere. There are opportunities everywhere. And what our people lack is that we don't see the opportunities.
Okay.
We don't see the opportunities. In fact, I just read, I saw something yesterday that this particular, waste product, somebody recycled them to make money. There are a lot of opportunities out there, but what our youth lack is the wisdom or how to, try to bring out something in nothing. So honestly, there are a lot of opportunities, and on this note, I am urging our youth to try as much as possible to see that they have garnered or harnessed that opportunity.
All right. Well, is it really about wisdom? Because there's another angle that indicates that nothing students get adequate practical or do not get adequate practical and vocational training to prepare them for real jobs. But that will be our focus the next time we have this conversation. I've been speaking with Ahijo Aldubakuwai, President of the National Union of Kebbi State Students. Thank you so much for your time. Please have a great evening.
Thank you for having me. I much appreciate it.
Thank you very much for watching, everyone. That's our package. But before we go, let's tell you that the views and reactions of our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Meanwhile, you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at 12:30 a.m. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke. We're using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News NG. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. I'll see you again tomorrow. Good night, everyone.